guys, this is Nintendo Guy 1981. Welcome to the top 5 worst selling Nintendo consoles of 2014. Now I had to do 2014 because it's not the end of 2015 yet. And then sales for Nintendo consoles won't be out until 2016 essentially. So I'm going to start doing top 5s differently by showing my face first and then getting to all the actual stuff. Just kind of like Let's React. So, without further ado, let's get to the consoles. Number 5. The Nintendo 3DS. Now, this is a great console, but it just didn't sell well enough to be off this list. One of the reasons, I think, is the 3D gimmick. I mean, not a lot of people like 3D because, well, it can give you seizures. It can hurt your eyes. And why even bother turning it on? Because it's just an extra slider that really just makes the system have a unique touch to it. The 3DS only sold about 44 million units, and probably because of the 3D gimmick. No one really likes 3D, Nintendo. So, do me a favor, Nintendo. If you come out with your next console, don't make it 3D. Even though the 3DS had some good games, it just didn't sell too great. And I know right now it's at 50 million units or something, but the 3D Death Slider, it's just causing the system not to sell too great. Number 4, the Nintendo 64. This console was a great console for Nintendo, but one of the reasons it didn't sell well, their decision to stick with cartridges. The rival of the Nintendo 64, which is the PlayStation, was a CD-based console, and it sold better than this because, well, Nintendo stuck with cartridges, and that just didn't belong with the 5th generation of gaming. So, many people switched over to the PlayStation, and Nintendo 64 only sold about 32 million units. So, that's why it sold kind of bad. Nintendo stuck with cartridges. Number 3. The Nintendo GameCube. Alright, well, we knew this one wasn't gonna sell too great, well, because it just wasn't going to sell great. Even though it was practically a boosted N64, it was Nintendo's first CD-based console, and because CDs had already become a thing, we knew this one wasn't going to sell too great. It sold only around 21 million units, and is one of Nintendo's worst-selling consoles of all time. The Xbox and the PS2 clearly beat this one. Number 2, the Wii U. Obviously, everyone knows how bad this one is selling. It just hit the 10 million mark. The gamepad. What the heck? Nintendo? Just what were you thinking when you created the gamepad? It's a tablet. Tablets in gaming, that just, no. I believe that the gamepad is failing the Wii U just because, well, it is an original gimmick, but then it gets ripped off. Like, Microsoft did Smart Glass, and Sony did something else. But, seriously though, the gamepad is just a bad idea. And also, the Wii U was pretty expensive when it came out. It was $300, and still is today. But it's getting some good games released. Hopefully, it will sell better. It's sold now 10 million units, but back in 2014, it only sold 6 million units. Mario Kart 8 definitely boosted sales, but Mario Maker boosted it even more, but still. The Wii U is still one of Nintendo's worst-selling consoles of all time. And now, the number one worst selling Nintendo console is... obviously, the Virtual Boy. This one didn't even sell 1,000,000 units, and it's Nintendo's worst console of all time. Not only the worst selling console, but their worst console of all time. Well, I got a ton of reasons for this one. The reviews and the 3D gimmick. Yeah, 3D and Nintendo are just not working out. Although the 3DS, it worked okay, but the Virtual Boy, Nintendo just was not thinking straight. Created by the legendary Gunpei Yokoi, who also created Game Boy and the Game & Watch games, the Virtual Boy was supposed to revolutionize video games. It was supposed to be this sort of virtual reality console that Nintendo just wanted to revolutionize the game market. Instead, it was a big failure and is their worst console of all time. It was discontinued in 8 months, and the reasons it didn't sell well, the reviews and the 3D. The 3D just wasn't good, and also the colors in the system, red and black. Nintendo, that was ugly. And now, 20 years after its release, it still hasn't gotten any better. The Virtual Boy also only had 14 games, 22 in Japan, but its small library of games was just bad for it also. And the reviews. People said they got eye strain and headaches within minutes because of the 3D on this thing, and that still happens with the 3DS today, although just not as often because, well, the 3DS doesn't require glasses. This one, you had to, look into it and, put your neck down in, a weird position, which also gave players neck strain. So, who would want to play this red and black, ugly piece of poo? No one. Unless you're a video game collector. I obviously don't own one, but I might want to start collecting consoles. So, what do you guys think of this top 5? Leave a comment down below telling me your thought. Channel of the day is shadowdemon, so congrats. And if you guys were wondering why my phone went black a few times, well, that's just because it doesn't really have a long wake time. So, next month is October, and you know what that means? Halloween top 5s. So, see you guys next month for a top 5, and I'll also see you later for a direct and a vlog.